Mujid, the dean of our department, the dean of our college, and assistant dean for assistant deans for the administrative affairs, Dr. Khalid. Dear students, welcome to you again. This symposium is somewhat different from the previous ones in that it doesn't tackle or treat with traditional fields or domains, but it introduces something new. It is a virgin thing in our department, the Department of English. Before going into this symposium or the details of this venture, I allow Dr. Adil, the head of our department, to give an introductory word. So, Dr. Adil.
السيد عميد الكلية المحترم، السيد معاون عميد الكلية المحترم، الزملاء الأفاضل، الطلبة الأعزاء، هذه ثاني ندوة في خلال هذا الموسم فيها نوع من الاختلاف إن شاء الله عن الندوات السابقة حتى للعام الماضي، لأنها تطرح مشروع يعني احنا وضعنا له إطار نظري في هذه الندوة، وإن شاء الله راح يكون التطبيق العملي وارد في خلال أيام قليلة. السيد العميد راح يفتتح العيادة في قسم اللغة الإنجليزية. أود بهذه المناسبة أن أشكر السيد العميد على رعايته إلى المشروع وتشجيعه إنه، وأيضا لا أنسى بالشكر السيد معاون العميد بتسهيلاته اللوجستية والفنية الكثيرة وصبر علينا وتعب ويانا، واشكر السيد مدير الاعلام ايضا، واشكر الاخوه الزملاء في قسم الترجمه، واتمنى ان يكون وجودنا خلال ساعتين او ساعه ونص في هذه الندوه مثمر، لان نعتمد على المناقشات اللي راح تحصل في التطبيق العملي اللي راح يكون فيما بعد. شكرا جزيلا.
Have their great contribution to this project.
I'd like to express my deep gratitude and sincere appreciation to the most distinguished guests, Mr. Dean, Dr. Mujid, and Mr. Dr. Khalid Na'im, for the continuing support and for the continuing feedback as well. And also, I'd like to extend my thanks on behalf of my colleagues to the service department, Dr. Nouri in particular, and also to the media department, Dr. Murad and Ahmed, for their continuing support along our way. So also I'd like, needless to say, thank you very much indeed to the executive director of the Department of English, Dr. Adil Malik, for his moral support, for his continuing efforts, and he put in the project. And thank you very much to all of the students and most honorable guests for attending today's seminar. Thank you for all of it. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed. And on my part, I must acknowledge my colleagues, Dr. Samer, Dr. Walid, and Dr. Mohammed for this innovative project, a project that will, I think, make a great leap in two things, research and writing. And I blame Mr. Mohammed because only research and writing, but he forget about reading. We'll speak about that at the end of this symposium, no problem at all, because reading and writing, two interrelated skills. So this symposium just inaugurates or give the, let us say, green light to a very promising project related to how develop our students skills related to two things, how to research and how to write. You know, our early years are spent to learn how to write, but now the projects of my colleagues focuses upon writing to learn. This is the point. Writing to learn and searching to learn. Their project is promising from different aspects, gives the ways how to search and what are the methods of searching, etc. And related to searching is writing, and they also use certain aspects, like for example peer review assessment and self-assessment. In addition to that, what is innovative in this project, they use pre-marked papers. That is to say, in order to let people know how the teachers, their teachers, I mean, assess their writings. Until now, I think writing, yes, we have composition writing, I think second or third stages, but we don't have what is called creative writing, and what is called by Dr. Muhammad critical writing, okay? So thank you so much for them, and we start our symposium with Dr. Walid to give us just preliminaries about their project. Dr. Walid.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My turn or my part in this presentation is to give you an idea or head notes for our projects, which is the research and writing clinic project. I'll give you some ideas about what the project is about, the pedagogy and the values and the aims of the project. First of all, you have to know who are the responsible for this project, who are the coordinators and the counselors that will be responsible for the actions inside this clinic. The clinic is run by 3 teachers in the Department of English, in our Department of Dr. Muhammad Qasim and Dr. Samir Talib. We are teachers in the Department of English, and we have recently graduated from international universities, from Exeter University, Chichester University, and from Humboldt University in the UK and in Germany. We also have experienced a wide-ranging scale of research and writing skills for more than 4 years in these universities and in these countries. What we do in this clinic, this is an essential point to be explained. What is our job? We are going to deal with the skill of writing and the skill of thinking and how they are related together. Writing is important, as my colleague said, is important in our assessments and in our examinations, I mean in the students' examinations. So what we will do is to give guidance, advice, and suggestions for our students in the different levels or stages, from the first stage till the 4th stage. And this may extend to also to the postgraduate level in the Department of English. How we do it? The way we do or we run this clinic, we will do the way we do it is by running a schedule during the week, 3 days a week, full time, from 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock every day for these 3 days. And we do it in the way of tutorials. We do tutorials during these days. We do workshops. We give seminars and face-to-face groups, bigger groups or small groups, face-to-face, I mean the teacher, the counselor, the coordinator, one of us, and one of the students or group of students inside the clinic or outside the clinics in one of the halls of the college if it is available. Where we do it, essentially and most importantly, we have a center at the heart, located at the heart of the Department of English on the ground floor, and it is next to lecturing hall number 26, and it is opposite to the department library. why we do it. What is the objective? What is the aim? Why we run discipline? Basically, writing is a skill, and since we are teachers of English and our students are learners of English, and the correlation between thinking and writing, these two skills are important. I mean, writing and the skill of thinking. So we as teachers, we would like to develop, to enhance, to improve the skill of writing. And by enhancing the skill of writing, we will what? We will develop the way the students think as undergraduates and postgraduates. The aims. What are the aims of the project or the clinic? First of all, enhancing the researching and writing skills. By doing these tutorials, though I'm going in deep now, I will leave the depth of discussion for my colleagues. Enhancing the research and writing skills means to give guidance for students, to give them suggestions how to develop, to give them certain books to learn from. I mean, to give them the basics, to improve their way of writing and to correct their mistakes, either in these tutorials and doing assignments. Second, raising awareness of the issue of writing and research difficulties, and to focus intensively on the elaborative effort to address it in a systematic and scientific manner. And as I have said, the raising the awareness of the significance and importance of writing as for the students as students of language, and for us as teachers of language, because basically our assessment methods and the criteria basically are based on what? On the writing skills. So we want to focus our attention and the students' attention by running this clinic on the significance, the importance of writing as an issue. Providing guidance, advice, and consultation, and this is done during the three days, full-time work, our work. Whatever the students like to ask, whatever difficulties they face, whether during their lectures, outside their lectures, the way they deal with writing, with thinking, will be available in the clinic to give them advice. Why writing? Writing is an epidemic or a chronic problem for the students and for researchers maybe in general. Writing is chronic because students face difficulties when they submit their assignments and even in examinations, when we correct their papers, papers during the modules we teach, we see there are many grammatical mistakes in their writings, spelling mistakes. So we would like to focus on how they think before they write. Okay? Focus on this idea and to try to solve this epidemic problem in the department. Second, the nature of our assessment methods, as I say, in our examinations, in the submission of summative essays that we ask students to deliver at the end of the semester or at the end of the year, summative essays, we see many mistakes in grammar and spelling and in their writings. So we want to focus on the assessment methods in our clinic and in our tutorials to make the students pay attention to their writing specifically. And this is not only for undergraduates, as I have said, it is for postgraduates also. So we are available for advice, for consultation for the postgraduate students in the Department of English. Writing centers in all wide-class universities. So why writing is important? Because we have seen, three of us, we have seen that in our universities abroad, that there are writing centers to develop, to enhance, to improve. There are tutorials to improve what? To improve the writings of students. Even for us as postgraduate students in these universities, we attend these sessions because they develop our writing and they develop the capacity of thinking, how to improve the way we think and how we write properly and correctly. And then these are the reasons behind why we write. Another point is the relation to curriculum. What is the relationship between our clinic and the curriculum, the syllabus that we teach in the Department of English? طبعا the clinic is not a substitute for the syllabus or for the curriculum that we teach in our classes or during our lectures. It is a continuation. It is an addition. And as I have said, it is not a substitution for the lectures that we have in our department. Yeah, it is a continuation, it is an addition, it is a way to improve the students' writing and the students' way of writing, the students' way of thinking. So you may ask me, why we are in this clinic? It is an addition to the efforts done by the teachers and the lecturers. Integrating the work of the clinic with the overall writing curriculum, the integration, the relationship, it is not a separation from the curriculum, as I said, like it is related together, connected together, grouped together. We take from the curriculum and we add to the curriculum from the books that we have brought with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Walid, for this for these preliminaries. Yes, Arabs all the time are accused of being oral society, but you know we are not oral from the fact that we have now. Thank you so much for Professor Mejid. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, sir, we are not oral society from the fact that now the clinic is on its way to appear. But writing, you know, don't come from scratch, but it needs certain counseling and advising. So do our students, for example, or whether undergraduate or postgraduate have or receive this, or do you advising and counseling? This topic will be addressed or touched upon by my colleague, Dr. Samer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramadan, and thank you, Dr. Walid, for introducing the work of the clinic. In this second part of the symposium, I'm going to talk about the role of the clinic. Well, the clinic is supposed to perform three roles mainly. The first one is training, the second one is coordinating, and the third one is the writing curriculum development. As far as training is concerned, the clinic is supposed to provide training to the students of the Department of English in the areas of writing and research, and this training mainly takes three forms. The first form would be the open lectures, the second form would be the workshops, and the third one would be tutorials. Dr. Wade has spoken briefly about that. I'm going to give more details, and Dr. Mohammed is going to also elaborate on this. As far as open lectures are concerned, they are targeting large number of students. This is one. And also the topics covered in these lectures are mainly general and theoretical topics, and they take the form of the traditional lecture. This means that it wouldn't necessarily be an interactive lecture. The form of interaction we are intending to be in the workshops. The workshops are targeting small number of students, and they are mainly taking part in the clinic room or in any other available room in the department, classroom. Also, there is a difference of topics. The workshops are going to deal with specific topics and with practical topics. So we have something very specific to deal with in contrast to the topics that are covered by the open lectures. And the form of training is, or the mode of training is also different between the open lecture and the workshop. In the open lecture, we have the traditional lecture form. In the workshop, we are going to deal with group work, with interaction. We are going to divide the students into groups, assign tasks to different groups, and then discuss the findings of each group. The third form of training that the clinic is providing is the tutorials. And tutorials are one-to-one short sessions, and they are intended to give feedback to students for certain pieces of writing that they are submitting to the clinic, and also the tutorials can be given by the members of the clinic staff or any available teaching staff member of the Department of English. So these are the 3 forms of training that are provided by the clinic. The other function of the clinic is coordination. And coordination means that the clinic is going essentially to work with the teachers of the Department of English, without whom we would not expect it to succeed. And the roles of the teachers would mainly take 3 forms. The first one, we are inviting teachers to give lectures to their students, especially the courses they are teaching. Lectures, particularly before the exams, in order to give them, their students, what the teacher's expectation of a student's essay are. So teachers are going to, in order to do that, they need to explain to their students the assessment methods they are following in order to mark the essays. Students should have a very clear idea about the assessment methods. The other thing, which is very preferable, teachers could show their students papers or essays of previously examined students to show them why they marked these papers or essays the way they did, so that the students will have a clear idea of how their work is going to be assessed in the future. The second role of teachers of English, which they can help the clinic, is to give feedback to the clinic, in the sense that after marking the essays of any exam, the teacher will be able to identify or specify certain areas of weakness to the students. For example, might have weakness in punctuation, in argumentation, in giving evidence, and so on. The teacher could, of course, inform the clinic of these areas of weakness, and so the clinic will be able to direct, that's to say, direct and reorient the material or the topics covered in the open lectures and the workshops according to the areas of weakness that have been delivered by the teacher. So there will be a coordination between teachers and the clinic, and what the clinic is doing will depend on the feedback provided by the teachers. The third role that the teachers of the Department of English can play is as feedbackers. They can, as we have said, give tutorials of feedbacking for individual students. This is done in coordination with the clinic, because if the tasks for the clinics are overwhelming, we would be asking volunteering teachers to give feedback to these students. So these are mainly the areas where teacher can contribute. Of course, we can think of more areas of that. Teachers can also give the open lectures and run the workshops and so on. But the main point in that is that the role of the teachers of English is indispensable to the clinic. And the clinic is not a project for specific people, but rather it's a project for the Department of English. It's adopted by the Department of English. The third role that is supposed to be performed by the clinic is to contribute to the development of the writing curriculum and research curriculum in the Department of English. And of course the clinic is intending to do that on many levels. And the first level, the clinic or members of the clinics will suggest to the department some new textbooks in the areas of writing and research, and hopefully the department will use these textbooks. Fortunately, the department has so far been open about renewing textbooks, renewing the syllabus, looking for what's new and using it in the department. Already some new material has been used by Dr. Muhammad, and we are looking for more textbooks to be suggested. The other thing that the clinic will aim to do is to introduce the assessment methods, and to use the assessment methods, of course, are available, and every teacher should have his or her assessment methods. But they need to be unified all over the department, especially for the identical courses, so that it wouldn't cause confusions to the students. The other thing that the assessment methods need to be done is that they need to be clarified to the students, which is missing now. The student should know clearly what the assessment methods are, on how basis or what basis his or her essay or answer is being assessed. So the clinic will be pushing on that direction. The other thing that the clinic will be encouraging to do is to introduce the idea of feedback. Of course, we are giving feedback, but not in formal level. We would like to unify the form of feedback. We hope that after the exam, every student will get a separate feedback sheet for his or her exam, for his or her answers. And it has been proved that feedback is very important pedagogical means, and that students benefit too much from the feedback that is given to them after the exam. The other thing is to extend the range of writing requirements. One thing that we have identified in the Department of English is that we are only asking students to write in the exams, mostly. And students do not write outside of the exam hall. We are intending to extend that so that students will demand from their, teachers will demand from their students to submit assignments, term papers, or annual papers as a requirement for their success or passing in any given material. Another thing that has been common throughout the years in the Department of English is that mostly essays questions are common on literary courses, and they are very rare outside the literary courses. So, written essays is their means of survival at the Department of English. We would like to spread this culture of writing outside of specific courses. The other thing that we are trying to do is to integrate the work of the clinic with the work of the courses, and to integrate other courses. Writing is not only the job of the courses of essay and composition to develop that important area. These are the three areas of the work of the clinic, of training, coordinating, and the development of the writing curriculum. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sam, for this information or piece of information. Yes, writing is, we must encourage the culture of writing, and writing now, as I understand from my colleagues, is a joint venture shared by both students and teachers. But you know, this project requires a lot on whether materially or on the part of human resources. So Dr. Mohammed will elaborate upon this point.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Ramadan, and thank you also to my colleagues for presenting the portions of presentation. My last portion of presentation would take an action plan, not necessarily to repeat much of what my colleagues have said, just to give you a framework for the whole project, not necessarily to be detailed, but I'd like to focus on certain issues, essential issues. First of all, I'd like to just to let you know about our motto. The motto of our clinic is that students helping students. The educational research suggests that students working in a group is an effective or a powerful resource for effective learning. And this would in fact change those students, the aspiring students' minds into tools for change. To do that, though challenging as it seems, the clinic heavily encourages the spirit of working groups, whether inside or outside the clinic. So teamwork is one of suggestions, feedback and follow-up. We not only give students editorial remarks and stop at this point. No, we will continue. It's a continuous movement, so we will have continuous improvement of the students' writing. And of course, in collaboration with the teaching staff members and all students as well. Will be run in the clinic. Now I'll talk about the specifics. what kind of offers we provide for students. First of all, we would like to reinforce writing concepts, means lexicon. One powerful way to reinforce a student's writing is to discuss the student writing in terms of lexicon. Our clique will provide a list of key terms shared between teachers and students describing the core elements of the academic writing. Educational research suggests that students are better able to transfer their learning to new contexts when faculty and students share common or common ground of language. Second, specific is to generate and organize ideas. Most of the students' problems solve to generate and organize ideas. And this is one of the adopt what's called the critical writing for the art of substantive writing. We have a special plan for this after we adopt the very basic understanding, the baseline understanding of how academic writing appear to be. And later on we'll come to analysis and evaluation of the argument. And also we put students in writing groups to feedback each other, to see their progress, and to examine the weaknesses and also strengths at particular points. So, and also we'll create posters, diagrams, pictures, and caricature and the like. So students will not just sitting passively, will be passive recipients of information, but they will create something. They will do posters, diagrams, pictures, and so on in order to help them understand the academic writing as a process. And the last thing is, teaching students how to write means we need to teach students the writing process. So we are looking for possibilities for change, for changing students' minds. Dialogue, means of communication, would be the means for changing minds. Tutoring writing as a process challenges the traditional and authoritative models of teaching. The process as such empowers the students by getting them to talk with the tutor about every step of the writing process. So we have steps. It is not necessarily procedural, but most important thing is how to be conceptual. We have to conceptualize writing as a concept, not necessarily procedural. So, the means, how we put all this into action. For instance, we offer day-to-day tutoring. I repeated it as just make us carry. Second thing is to hold workshops, continuing workshops. And also I will add focus group discussions. This is an effective way of bringing the students' ideas and putting the cards on the table to examine their problems and so on. And of course, this focus group discussion will be run by one of our coordinators and counselors. The second thing is to make students how to be peer reviewers, good peer reviewers. Each student will review the other student's work, examine it, analyze it, and evaluate it, not only teachers. This is an effective way for changing minds for students' academic process. And also, we will adopt Socratic teaching method, or Socratic questioning circles. It's a teaching method that teaches students how to ask questions, analyze complex problems, problems as regards writing, by only raising questions without finding solutions. Because we'd like to analyze a certain problem and try to approach it by the end to find certain kind of solutions or suggestions for a problem. And also, we will adopt what's called individual, or in-person and group interviews. This is an important way to make students live within the straight YouTube, teaching tutorials for teachers and students as well. You will learn punctuation marks, cohesive devices, and so on in a quite simple way. And also, we have the To-Do Online Writing Lab. This is a powerful source for writing and research skills. And also we have what's called the Writing Center at one of Sussex, I think, University. And this is also called the Princeton Writing Program, one of the universities, the national universities. And this is a powerful source for present punctuation marks and style, grammar, syntax, and so on. So in order to, we are going to have an internet connection with these universities, with these centers, and we'll provide, we'll retrieve some materials from these centers and make use of them to help the students understand the writing process and make it easier for them. Also, our expectations, I think this is the last portion. Thank you for your tolerance. First of all, we have a list of expectations. Students can develop as confident writers as we continuously provide them with feedback, adequate training, and coordination, continuously moving, continuously improving. This is one of our expectations. Second expectation is that the overall of the academic achievement of the students will be higher. If we work collaboratively with the teachers, we will actually achieve all these points together. So the last point is that we will create a culture of thinking and research and writing proficiencies in the department. So we must teach students that writing is not only a reflection of others' ideas, but it's a form of thinking. We should put ourselves in the shoes of the author or the writer in order to understand his argument very well and try to dissect it and evaluate it and try to produce different forms of knowledge. So we should not imitate authors or imitate teachers as well to take the ideas for granted. So all students are expected to be producers of knowledge. So thank you very much indeed for your kind attention, and that's all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Muhammad, for acquainting us with these offers and resources, and all our students are invited to go to this clinic to make use of such offers. Of course, they are
to teach individual students, looking for their problems and trying to solve these problems. Students are different or heterogeneous in their problems and their ambitions. I mean, what they want to have from this project. And you want to tackle for the undergraduates and the postgraduates. How do you challenge all these problems? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You don't look to face too many challenges because you're supposed to have small group or individual students to expect many challenges, difficulties as well. Yeah. Maybe we sometimes we face some failures or get frustrated. But as we said, that collaboration with teachers is an inspiring source for strengthening our unit, our clinic. So I think first of all, we advise the students how to acquire the baseline understanding of writing, maybe individually. Maybe we adopt some lectures, face-to-face tutorials, and this is going to be reported by teachers. We expect to receive reports from teachers. We expect to get some suggestions on the mailbox mounted on the wall, and we will make a plan in advance. There's no project without any difficulties or challenges, because this particular project is intellectually painful, you know, for us as teachers and for students, how to adapt to new situation to transfer the learning. But I think I might not answer your question very well, but I think we expect such kinds of challenges, and we will manage how to run this process, because, you know, we are just on the threshold. Okay, thank you.
no challenge, no change. On 100 miles, start with one step. Yes, Dr. Muhammad, please step.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who has taken. Could I wait for the...
When everybody hears the word clinic, it might be for the first time fearful, actually. And when we talk about an epidemic or a chronic problem here, actually we have an epidemic problem. The first thing that we have to do is that, since we are going to have a workshop or a clinic to remedy or to have a remedial course for those students who are suffering from research writing or writing skill in particular, we have to diagnose effectively the causes for this epidemic case or problem. You know, we have to revise actually, I mean, the entry system for the students, our admission policy that we have talked so many times. You know, or the majority of the students actually who come to the Department of English actually, they face certain problems in skills courses, writing, speaking, and so on here. My own advice or suggestion, simple, I mean, we have first to do a placement test. To this placement test, we have to classify or to group students, I mean, to different levels according to their own background, their own problems, and then we have to start our remedial course. The teaching methodology, textbooks, learning outcomes should be stated as clear as possible. As a matter of fact, the actual situation on the ground here, we do, as Mr. Halim probably has raised this point here. You know, to teach a skill like reading, for example, writing, we do need what is called the group teaching here. It is not possible for the current situation, I mean, academically speaking, that we give lectures in writing for 50 plus, for 60 plus students here. So all, I mean, here we have to reconsider all methodology. Even we have to think serious about how to provide our students with the technicalities, with the instruments, and with all other logistic things that they do. By diagnose, I mean, the first step we have to do, we have to diagnose what are the real causes for this epidemic phenomenon here, and then we can proceed, we can put ourselves on the proper track. Thank you very much.
We're quite aware about the problems that led to this academic, sorry for this medical terminology and being used here. One problem that we have identified that in Iraq, for example, there is no training whatsoever on writing from primary school and secondary school. So there is a topic on composition. It is always neglected by teachers of Arabic and English alike. In comparison to other countries, there is a training on writing from year one. And when year one starts from, for example, with children of 5 years old, it starts from that time. And if you see the curriculum or the syllabus of writing of these countries, it is very amazing, and it is no comparison even to what we are doing even on university level. So students are not to be blamed for that. Nobody has taught any student how to write. This is one thing. Regarding the other difficulties, of course there are difficulties, and as Dr. Halim said, it is too ambitious, might be, to be practical, but one thing, of course, we would suggest and have suggested is to use the virtual learning environment. Of course, we are aware that actual learning environment, actual time and space are limited. We have big numbers of students. We do not have enough time or enough space to do that. We are using in our courses and so on. We will be using this more intensively in the clinic. We are using the virtual learning environment to use the internet, to use some websites like Facebook and others to communicate with students. So the methods of communication shouldn't necessarily be in the clinic or in the class and so on. So we'll use that virtual unlimited environment in order to do that. And regarding other difficulties like numbers, for example, of course it is a difficulty, and we have been suggesting some solutions for that. Of course, when somebody is teaching a course on composition and he has or she has 150 students or 200 students in 1 year, it's impossible for him or her to give them assignment weekly at least. They couldn't be marking 200 essays every week. This is too tiring for everybody. So one method, for example, in order to solve this problem is to use peer review, letting students to review the work of other students